This place is awesome. Incredible facilities, huge events across so many different forms of motorsport, first class racing, and so much more. It's called the home of motortainment for a reason, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why the Perth Motorplex really is that good. Hey everyone, are you in business for yourself? Maybe you own and run a transport business and are eyeing off a new truck or trailer, or maybe you're a tradesman needing another essential tool. Well, here's a game changer for you. Check out Credit One Equipment Finance. They are Australia's top choice for financing for good reason. Whether it's transport, construction, farming, or any trade, Credit One Equipment Finance is perfect for your business. No matter your industry or equipment needs, Credit One Equipment Finance is your go-to solution. They understand that growing your business means having the right equipment and tools, which often requires substantial investment. With Credit One's diverse finance options, you can acquire your excavator, van, truck, crane, or whatever your job demands. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Check out over 1,800 glowing 5-star reviews on Google. That's right, 1,800 and counting. For competitive rates and solutions that beat the banks, and for lightning fast loan approvals, visit www.creditoneequipmentfinance.com.au or click the link in the video description below. Empower your business today with Credit One Equipment Finance. It took just 9 months and $22 million before the Motorplex opened in late 2000, replacing Claremont Speedway, which from 1927 ran speedway events for over 72 years. Although the location of the track in Kwinana, Western Australia is a further drive from the city in comparison to Claremont, being designed from a blank sheet of paper by proper speedway and drag racing people means that now, even 25 years on, this place continues to set the benchmark as a proper motorsport complex, hence the name Motorplex. The venue is leased from the government to Evolve Facility Management, and the number of track staff fluctuates at around 8 full-time workers. Compared to just about any other speedway, particularly here in Australia, that seems like a lot of workers, but that's because it's not just a speedway. They have the speedway, and then there's obviously the drag strip and burnout pad as well. Combine all of that with venue hires like tarmac rally, motorcana, cycling, car shows, even concerts. A single year will see this venue host over 200 days worth of events. So what events does the Motorplex host? They run major speedway events like the High Limit International, which has the richest winner's purse in all of Australian sprint car racing. There's the Sprint Car Nationals, Cricket Boys Shootout, Speed Week, and a lot more. That is just sprint car racing. Obviously, there's a lot of other speedway events added to that list as well. On the drag racing side, there's the Western Nationals, and they also host regular off-street drag racing. And the Burnout Pad's biggest event is Motivation, but is also used quite often. By the time you finish watching this video, you'll realize how good this place really is, particularly because of the facilities. The layout of this place is just perfect, right from when you first drive in on the entry road. This whole place is just so spacious, like nothing is an afterthought and nothing is just crammed in somewhere. I don't know any speedway that's laid out like this, but for the competitor entry, they have a few boom gates, and then past that is where the general admission and parking is. The first thing that I think most people notice when driving in is the incredible pit area, which at over 22,000 square meters is shared between both the drag and speedway competitors. In the pits, there are 7 beautifully grassed pit rows with 32 full bays per row, with each row separated by proper paved roads which are named avenues. There's even like these street signs to tell you where you are. It might sound like I'm just crapping on, but the place really is perfect. At the very back of the pits is parking for the crew. And between the pits and the track is a bunch of other buildings. There's a huge toilet block, and right next to that is the medical center. There's a demountable that they call the classroom, which is used as a media room and for press conferences, usually after the racing. The pits has LED lighting, power for competitors to use, and a full PA system. This large shed houses the scales and is where both the pre and post race tech is held and where crew sign on is. That is only one side of the shed though. The other side is the track machinery workshop for the facility maintenance workers. Now time for the spine. Between the drag strip and speedway is what they call the central spine, which is really a road and walkway. It's pretty unique because you can watch events from both tracks from the one spot. On the outside of each track are also the eastern and western spines. The latter, which holds the 8 drag strip corporate suites, race control and commentary offices, with the speedway versions being located at the top of the front straight or center spine. These roads create wide walkways for fans with plenty of both amenity blocks and food stalls located up there too. On the speedway side, there's an additional 4 corporate suites at the top of turns 1 and 2, which I'm actually sitting in one right now. And right next to that is the Highline deck and bar. And again, yes, it sounds like I'm crapping on about how good this place is, but if you've been here and you've sat in this spot, there really is, I don't think, any better view of a speedway in the world maybe. When it comes to seating, there's actually not that many seats at the Motorplex. Both sides each have 1,096 seats, which they call the gold seating. That's it. No more seats. But I'm told that this is very much by design to ensure a nice and relaxed viewing experience. It might seem odd compared to the usual bleacher type seating arrangements that a lot of other major venues use, but the grassed tier layout is really nice. Total capacity depends on which event is being run. For example, they've had monster truck shows where they can accommodate for around, I think, 12 or 13,000 people. I'm told that they would cap a speedway show at about 12,000, and the drag side could hold as many as 15,000. The catch though is that these numbers can't be combined, so the total venue capacity at any one time is 15,000. At the top of turn 1 is where the speedway office is, which isn't just an office. It also includes a full TV standard production suite and a sound booth for recording voiceovers. Are you starting to see what I mean by this place being pretty unique? It's by far the most self-sufficient speedway I've ever been to. It's time to talk big screens. I feel like they need their own section in this video. The drag racing side has had a big screen built into the bridge between the staging lanes and start line, with the speedway's big screen being located at the top of turns 1 and 2. That one is pretty new, is over 60 square meters in size, and is made up of over 608,000 LEDs. There's also a mobile big screen situated at the start of the center spine, which faces the pits, and there's another big screen which sits actually within the pits. So if you're here at, say, a speedway event, pretty much no matter where you're sitting, you can probably see 2 big screens at all times. There's just big screens everywhere, okay? And while we're at it, there's also a lap counter, which I was surprised to find out that although it has been refurbished, is actually from Claremont Speedway. I think that's pretty cool. What else makes this track unique? There's internal Wi-Fi, which is accessible within the entire venue. The track has its own FM radio transmitter, meaning that anyone at the track can tune in to listen to the commentary via their own device. Their fire vehicles are to a very high standard, and they even carry their own extraction equipment. And just next to the machinery shed are washing facilities for teams to clean their cars. Again, a very self-sufficient venue that accommodates for just about everything you can think of. I can't make this video without mentioning the incredible push trucks or utes that are at every single Motorplex show, and of course, Coney. What is Coney? He or she or it is a remote control driven cone that has somehow sold a stupid amount of merchandise, including to me. Lastly, this part of the world sees a very low amount of rain during the summer, so rainouts are extremely rare. What else is there to mention? Oh yeah, the actual racetracks. The drag strip is the full quarter mile with a 600-meter shutdown area. I am no drag racing guy at all, so I can't genuinely say much about it. But other than the concrete only running to halfway down the strip before switching to bitumen, the track has all of the bells and whistles when it comes to both timing and safety. I can't believe I just spoke about a drag strip's specs on here. Ugh. Okay, now the speedway. It's 500 meters in distance, 1 meter off of the pole line, which is how tracks are measured. And with it being 22 meters wide, that means it measures 635 meters, 1 meter off of the outside fence. The track has progressive banking with 2 degrees on the bottom and up to 12 degrees up near the fence. Currently, the quickest lap around the Plex is a 12.46 second lap set by Michael Pickens in a sprint car, which is kind of funny because he's most well known as a midget driver. The dirt track has 1 hydraulic gate for entering the track and 2 gates for when cars exit, which makes that process much quicker. The Motorplex crew pioneered what they call the DigiFlag, replacing the need of a flagman. They have 2, one on the outside where the flagman used to stand and one on the infield. Other tracks like Northline Speedway in Darwin now use the same system, which has also been copied by some venues over in the USA. Now, time for the infield, and at first glance, it looks quite plain, but upon closer inspection, you realize that there's a few features that are, again, quite unique. First off, there are these big roads. The front stretch road is where cars are push started from and is where the work area is situated. And the back stretch road is used primarily as a park for May for post-qualifying. There's also a podium on the infield, which is actually a trailer that gets taken out. There's an area for their infield VIP on-track experience and 2 stations for filling up the water truck. Outside of both the drag strip and the speedway are these large staging lane areas, which might be more common in drag racing, but I've never seen anything of this caliber at a speedway before. And right next to the speedway staging lanes in turns 3 and 4 is where the competitors typically watch the racing from. People always ask us about camping at the tracks that we travel to, and yes, the Motorplex does accommodate for camping, but only for special events at this stage, and this is held in the area that they call the overflow parking area. There's a reason that the Plex constantly wins awards, and it's because it's constantly being improved and upgraded. So what future plans do they have for this place? They want to add LED lighting across the entire venue, an outlaw kart track which will go behind the speedway backstretch, permanent car washing stations which might even be coin operated, a full concreting of the drag strip, and they are also open to hosting other major events like Supercross. Perth is the most isolated capital city on earth, so the distance from everywhere else makes it difficult to attend races. When it comes to my dislikes about this venue, I can't really think about anything, to be honest. It's so well laid out and spacious that some people think that it's too much and it's too big of a walk. And I will be honest, you do get your steps up when you walk around this place. They are constantly improving this place, and I guess with my role, I'd love to see, like we've seen at some other tracks like Knoxville and in particular Eldora, is a proper media center that can accommodate for much more media to come in, providing power, air conditioning, maybe even some food and drinks, and most importantly, Wi-Fi at a workbench. Another thing I'd love to see is probably a big NASCAR style podium, but I think their podium here is see-through so that you can see from both sides of the track. Even after 25 years of operation, I'm excited for each year to see what the Motorplex crew does to this place to improve it further. We've made a bunch of videos here at the Motorplex now, and don't just take my word for it, but there's drivers from all over Australia and even America that have raced at world-class NASCAR venues, and they rate this place right at the top. I really hope you enjoyed this insight. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And if you haven't already, make sure you click subscribe down below to the Sprint Car Hub YouTube channel. And what I'd love you to do is make sure you head over to sprintcarhub.com, grab shirts like this and hats like these right now.
Can I come in quickly?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry. Otherwise I'll fucking forget to do it.
It's all good.
Sorry.
Don't worry.